Take two, here we go. So I did this video this morning and the sound didn't record. So if you're hearing me now, the sound recorded. And hopefully it is actually synced up with the video and then I'll be able to edit in some pictures for the games that I don't own. Anyway, welcome back to the Top 100. This is 60 through 51, and there are 3 games in this in this 10 that I don't own. Also, these are all very fun games. None of them are super complicated. All of them you could play. Yes, you. Um, Without further ado, let's talk about number 60, new to the list, and it's a cooperative game. This is So Clover. I famously don't enjoy cooperative games, with a couple of exceptions, one being if they're really complicated, sometimes that's all right, and the other one being if there's restrictions on communication. That's this game. And So Clover, you have this interesting little clover board here, and on this board you will put 4 little cards. And then you will hide it from your teammates and you'll write clues for them, and this is the only way you can communicate with them. So here we have, well, that one's tough. Owl and March. What would I say here? Okay, let's see. Rat and Bang. Oh my, these are really tough. But anyway, so you have to, all right, let's make this easy. So you wouldn't get to do this, but so here we have rat and owl, and I might just write animal, and that's it. And then on this one, ruin and march, I might write Ides, because the Ides of March was the ruin of Caesar. Things like that. So you write the word on here, and then you take all 4 of these off and shuffle them along with one dummy one, and then you give it to your teammates, and they have to recreate what you did. That's the whole game. They do get 3 tries to do it in. And really, I mean, you're not really keeping score. Like, if you can get them all, that's great. If you can't, it's fine. No problem. It's a lot of fun and leads to a lot of ridiculous things and a lot of, well, they could be thinking about this. And then you're watching people and they're like, yeah, that's it. Keep thinking like that. That's what you're thinking. And they're like, oh, no, wait, but this is also an animal. If you really think about it, and then they go like really stretch it out, that's So Clover. Great game. Number 60, new to the list. Number 59 is a roll and write, also new to the list, but I played this a ton last year and the year before too. And that is Lost Cities Roll and Write. This is based on the game Lost Cities by Reiner Knizia. This one's also by Reiner Knizia. And in this game, you have these you have a piece of paper with these 6 different tracks, and you are trying to move up the tracks. There's these dice that'll be rolled. One of them is a 6-sided die with color on it. There's 3 of those actually, and then there's 3 10-sided dice with number. All you're trying to do is move up as far as you can on the tracks. There's a few more rules other than on your turn you choose a color and a number, and then you write that number on that color. That's basically it. There's a few more rules. The number that you write has to be equal to or greater than what you've written on that before. So a lot of it's like, oh, the lowest number out there is a 6. Do I really want to go with a 6? Maybe, maybe not. Plays really quickly. Played this a lot with Amy and Marion and Sarah. And yeah, big fan. That's Lost Cities Roll and Write. Number 58 is another roll and write new to the list. This is Merchants of Magic. Merchants of Magic is a slightly more complicated roll and write in which there are these 4 dice that someone rolls, and they're different. There's a 6-sided, 8-sided, 10, and 12. And then everyone takes those results and tries to write them on one of their on their sheet of paper, basically filling in these little kind of SAT bubbles. And the reason why you do this is you're trying to complete items so you can sell them to adventurers because you're a merchant of magic. And yay, that's the name of the game. Yeah, I really like this game. Plays well up to 8. It's one of those games where everyone kind of wants, like, everyone wants a high number on the 6-sided die and a low number on the 12-sided die. And sometimes you can have a die roll and everyone's like, yay! You can have a die roll and everyone's like, that's awful. What are you doing? Great game. Love it. Merchants of Magic. Number 57 is a flip and write, and one of 2 roll and write or flip and writes that was on the list the last time. I think there were only 2, this one and On Tour, which I talked about last time. This was 21 last time, so it's fallen a bit, but still a great game. I just haven't been playing it quite as much. This is Cartographers. In Cartographers, you're a cartographer. That's why they named it that. Um, let's look at someone's. This is mine. This is the cartographer here is Kyle. The title, The Sleepy, because you get to choose your own title. And I wrote up here, E pluribus sleepum. I'm sure that's correct. Um, in this game, you'll be flipping over these cards that show you these little polyominoes, little Tetris pieces in various different colors. You have to arrange them on the board in various different ways to satisfy these goals. Especially great if you have the colored pencils. I have played without the colored pencils, a lot better with them. Um, and yeah, one of the interesting things here, though, is like you'll be making your plans. You'll be like, oh, I hope I get that one. This will happen. And then someone will flip up one of these purple ones right here, which these are the foes, the bad guys. Speaking of which, it sounds like Domino is fighting foes over there right now. Um, there he goes. Um, when one of those purple things is flipped up, though, you pass your board to someone else, and they write in the purple thing in exactly the wrong spot. Monsters, that's what they're called. And at the end of the round, you lose points for empty spots next to monsters, and there's ways you can try and defeat them with heroes. But it's a nice little bit of interaction in what would otherwise be just a solitaire, like try to do the goals better than other people. Um, anyway, that's number 57, Cartographers. Number 56 is the only deck building game on this 10, and it's a solo game. It is called Friday. This was 68 last time, 45 the time before then, always bouncing around the middle of the list. In Friday, you are playing as Friday from the book Robinson Crusoe, and you are trying to help Robinson Crusoe survive and defeat some beasts and ultimately some pirates at the end. Um, the way you go about doing this is by you will have various different tasks to help Friday do, like further exploring the island, and then there's various different numbers you have to get to here. And then if you beat the card, you get it as the good side, and this one says strategy, which is all well and good, but your starting deck has plenty of cards like weak or distracted, or where's a good one? Oh, well, focused is a good one that actually helps you. Eating helps you. But oh, genius. That's like your best card in your starting deck. But then you will also start shuffling in these things like very tired or scared. And there's these pictures of him. He's so scared. Poor guy. Phenomenal. Um, uh, stupid, very stupid. So you're trying to help Robinson Crusoe survive despite the fact that he's not that good at it. Um, this is, I need to play this game more because for a while there, I was playing it fairly regularly, just sitting down if I had nothing else to do in the evening, sitting down with this game and like a glass of whiskey and playing through and trying to win. It's a hard game. There are, I think, 5 different levels of difficulty, and I've definitely been the first 2, maybe the third one as well. Again, a game I need to play more, as I say with almost all these games. That's Friday. Oh, it is Friday today. Thematic. Number 55 is a game that I've only played once. I played it at Origins last year, and this is called Ohanami. Um, it was not on the list but last couple of times, obviously. And Ohanami, I played this with David, Sarah, and Amy, and I had like heard of it before, didn't know that much. It looked easy to learn, so we picked it up. It's amazing. It's a drafting game in which the cards are very simple. They're just like the numbers 1 through 100 and something or something, 105, something like that. And each of them is a different color, and the colors give you points in different ways. When you draft cards, you take 2 of them, and then you have to put them into 3 different columns. The thing is, within a column, you cannot put cards in the middle. You can only build higher or lower. So let's say you draft a 37, and then you get a 24. If you put the 24 in the same column as the 37, you can't put anything in between them. So it's one of those things where like that little bit of difficulty just makes the game. It plays very quickly. We learned it and played it in probably like 45 minutes. And if you know what you're doing, it'd probably be a 20, 30-minute game. I really need to pick this one up and play it some more and see what I think because I really enjoyed that first play. So that's number 55, Ohanami. Number 54, sorry, there's a hungry guy over here looking at me, but it's not time yet. It's not your dinner time. Number 54, I have spoiled by holding it up here while talking to my dog, and this is Splendor. Splendor was 36 last time, 18 the first time I did the top 100. This is one of the best welcoming games, or gateway games they used to call them. I think they're trying to move away from that because the connotation with drugs. Not that it's a bad connotation. It's not inaccurate sometimes. Anyway, so Splendor. In this game, you starts out very simply. You're grabbing these gems, which are poker chips, basically, and then you spend the gems to buy cards. When you buy cards, they make the next cards cheaper. So you're trying to buy cards that have points on them and attract these nobles by getting certain combinations of cards. And it's one of those games where it just ramps up like crazy. Like early on, you're just like, take gems, take gems, take gems, buy a card, take gems, buy a card. And later on, you're like, I'll buy this card, I'll buy that card, and then I'll buy this card, and I won. There we go. This is a very simple engine building game. I think I definitely need to introduce this one to Marianne because I think Marianne might really like this. So Marianne, if you're watching, you need to play Splendor. If you haven't, maybe you have. Anyway, that's number 54, Splendor. Number 53 is the most ridiculous game possibly in my top 100. It was 46 the first time I did the list. It wasn't on the list the last time I did the list, but it came back because I bought it at Origins last year. Bought it used for $10, and this is Rail Pass. Rail Pass is this absurd cooperative dexterity game where you're trying to get these cubes to go to the right spots. So you all have a color. Like this player wants to get all the yellow cubes. This one wants to get all the yellow cubes. This one wants to get all the white cubes. And then you have these cubes which are distributed across everybody else. What you have to do is, following very specific rules, load them on these wonderful locomotives here, and then pass them to the next player. And when you do that, you must say toot toot, which is all very funny. You know, and I'm teaching the game. I'm like, no, you do have to say toot toot when you're passing. And it's very important because later on people will be stressed and they'll be like toot 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 toot, and it's just ridiculous. Watching people play this game is super annoying in the funniest way. Because the other thing is if you drop the train, it's out of the game. If you spill any cubes off the train, they're out of the game. And getting a perfect score is very possible in this game. There's other things you need to do, like you got to make sure that you have this is like a little engineer on each of the locomotives. You can only pass if it has if it has an engineer. But if they get too far away from home, they like quit. They get homesick and they quit. Amazing game. Plays best at 6. Works really well at 5 too. I would play it at 4, but it's best at 6, maybe 5. That is Rail Pass. The next game on this list I do not own. This is a roll and write game that I played at Nikki's house. This is called Fleet, the Dice Game. In Fleet, the Dice Game, you are essentially doing commercial fishing, and there's 2 different boards here. There's like there's the fishing board, and then there's the harbor board. And you're trying to basically get points from both of them, but it has a very pleasant, like nice build up and lots of different strategies you can go for. Has another thing I really like in some roll and write games. There's going to be a few higher up on the list, where the person who's going first will roll a bunch of dice. So let's say you have 4 people. They will roll 9 dice, and then you'll snake draft those dice. So, take one, take one, take one, take one. The person who took the last one then takes one again, and you go back the other way, and there will be 1 die left over. Everyone gets the benefit of that die. So there's some nice little player interaction with that, and like what you think the person's going to let everyone have at the end, where you're like, ooh, I really want these 2, but if I pass this one on, they're going to take it. So I better take that and hope that this one comes back. Really interesting. There's an app for this game that I downloaded that I was not a huge fan of. It's like only solo. Don't recommend the app, but this is one of those games I'm keeping an eye out to try and pick up. That is Fleet, the dice game. And finally, the last one in this list, it was 54 last year. That's another game I don't own. This is Caesar. Seize Rome in 20 minutes with the exclamation mark after Caesar. And I think after minutes as well. Um, this is a two-player head-to-head game that Mark and I were at PAX Unplugged. We're walking near the first look area, and we're like, "Oh!" And I said, "I've heard of this game. Let's check this out." We sat down, learned, and played it in about probably half an hour, and then we played it I think two more times because it was just that good. You have normally three tokens behind a little screen. On your turn, you choose a token and you put it out on the board. You're trying to grab control of these territories, grab control of, and put your things out, get some better tokens as well. Um, Really pretty simple, but a lot of depth to it. Um, yeah, it's one of those games where there's two-player games are tough. I don't play a lot of two-player games, but this is one I would like to own. I think it was really intense and interesting and quick, just like over like that. So very cool. That was number 51. That was Caesar. So hopefully all the technical difficulties have worked out with my crappy computer and this works and you're seeing this video. If you aren't seeing this video, then please put a comment in. Let me know and how you're. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.